Good morning. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I am attorney Wade Skalsky, and this is Wade Beyond the Courtroom.
I thought you were going to say I'm Wade Skalsky, and you're not.
Yeah, that's also true. We're all about truth and clarity here in Wade Beyond the Courtroom. So speaking there is Mike. How are you on the board today?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm well. You're a little punchy today.
No, I don't know what it is.
I don't know. You came in and you're just all you're happy. There's a little bump in your step.
I think it's that extra hour of sleep.
Yes, we successfully navigated daylight savings time.
And your clock is in the window because it hasn't reset yet. It's an atomic clock. It still says 10 over the window. There it says 10:47.
Oh.
Or 10:04.
Yes, again, physical descriptions of
things. Oh, it is right. Okay, good.
Yeah, man.
It reset.
Hey, physical descriptions of things on the radio? Gold.
Well, it's got to get that signal, and you're all about time.
That's right.
So you didn't know.
So today we're going to be talking about two things, crowdfunding and some legal implications of that. And some interesting,
about that.
Yeah, exactly. But first we're going to talk about, two other things. Halloween. Did you have a good Halloween?
I did.
Did you?
Movies.
Oh, nice. There's the thing about movies though is you buy your candy at the movie instead of getting it. Do they give you candy for free at the movie?
No, I bought no candy.
No?
No.
Oh, well, it's Halloween. You should have had some candy of some
I
kind.
could have done a Kickstarter for that.
That's right. We'll talk about that in a second.
All I got was just a soda, and we just sat down and did it.
No one comes to my house. This is the second year in a row where no little trick-or-treaters come to my house. And so I ate a lot of Ghirardelli chocolate squares last night, which are delicious.
Oh, yeah.
And I was preparing to give, that's excellent chocolate to give to someone.
Right.
It's not cheap, and yet no one wanted any because no one came to my house.
Well, we too are in a condominium, so like last year we got like 6 kids. So I mean, to stay home the whole night.
We would have killed to have 6 kids. Man.
Yeah,
we had none.
They didn't go to your place either. Where do they go? I wonder.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe like other neighborhoods with friendly
Maybe
people.
We're
big in Belize.
Yeah. But no, we decided just to pass on the candy and just went to the movies.
What movie did you go see?
The Martian.
Oh, how was that?
Great.
Good.
Really good.
Good.
And Matt Damon's just amazing anyway.
Matt Damon. I actually like Matt Damon a lot. Although he's always in movies where he's getting saved, and that people are going to an expense and risking, like Saving Private Ryan. He got saved.
Kristen Wiig's in it too.
Interstellar, he got saved, and then now in The Martian, he's getting saved. So I'm just going to write a movie where I'm going to place Matt Damon in a faraway place, and we have to go save him, and it'll be movie gold.
We'll call it The Attorneys.
Yes, he's stuck in some prison, and I have to write an appeal to get him out or something.
So yes, we are both buzzkills. We didn't pass out candy last night.
I wanted to.
Well, yeah, I know you were willing.
You had 6 kids. I had
last year,
none.
not this year.
You had 0 this. Oh, you went to a movie.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, pay attention.
Crowdfunding.
Yes, let's get on crowdfunding. So, crowdfunding actually is. It's kind of. Oh, did I lose my feed there?
No, you're there.
All right, cool. Crowdfunding is very interesting. Where it's a relatively new phenomenon, right? But like in the old school days, like if you wanted to start a business, what you would do is you would put together a business proposal. You would put together in terms of your forecasted profits and losses and all of that, the inventory that you would need, and you put a business plan together. And then you would go and you would either go to a family member, or if you had a wealthy uncle or something, or if you were to go to the bank and sit with them and convince them to fund your project or your business. Now, crowdfunding sort of puts that on its head, where it says, okay, here's what we're going to do is I'm going to do all of that, but instead of having to go into one, a small group of people, meaning, like an angel investor, which are basically wealthy people who are looking to leverage capital, or you're going to leverage, a small group of like your relatives or friends or a banking institution. You're like, I'm going to put this out there for all 7 billion people in the world. So you put all that stuff together, and using something called the internet. Have you heard of that?
Yes, just recently.
All right, yes, it's a relatively new thing. The internet, basically anyone with an internet connection can go to a site that's dedicated for if you want to fund something. And it's amazing. Like a few years ago, there was a TV show called Veronica Mars. Did you ever see that TV show?
Maybe once or twice.
Okay. And so the creator, showrunner, Rob Thomas, who I've actually met in person. He's a fine fellow. Not Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20, but
I was going to say no.
Yes, no, different Rob Thomas. Fine fellow, really, really nice guy. Actually hung out with him a few times.
Cool.
That was also name dropping right there.
Totally.
But the thing is, I only name drop people who are less famous than more famous people, so you get confused about who I'm talking about.
Again, Rob, if you're listening, he did not pass out candy last night.
Yes, exactly. So, and anyway, so when he wanted to do a Veronica Mars movie, right? And so he did he went to Sony or whatever, and they said, okay, well, if you can raise, X number of dollars, whatever it was, $1 million or $2 million, whatever, we'll fund the rest.
Right.
And so he went on the internet and he said, okay, to all the fans of Veronica Mars, we want to make a movie and we want you to throw some money in.
Right.
And he raised his money, and it was like, I think that was the first time a movie had ever been, because the crowdfunding at that point was relatively new. This may have been like 3 years ago, and sort of was getting going. Crowdfunding was getting going. And so I find that fascinating. It's like, okay, so not only am I going to you have to pay to go see a movie, but actually now you have to start to pay to actually get the movie produced if you want to see it. So I just thought that was genius. I was like, what a great business model. And he actually raised the money. And so he didn't have to go to the sort of the traditional route. Now, that's sort of a big business, old school way of an application for crowdfunding. But if you go on one of these crowdfunding sites like GoFundMe or Indiegogo or any of those other sites, you will literally see people, like, they will have all these sorts of projects with regards to that you would never even think of in a million years. And we'll kind of get back to that when we come back from the break. So did you have anything that you wanted to do crowdfund?
I know a lot about these sites. Obviously, we'll get into that when we get back, because there are a couple of sites that are very well known. And typically, let's take a break first. We'll come back, because I notice musicians, filmmakers, I've seen them as much as fund my road trip. I've seen that as well.
Right.
So,
fund my spring break.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right,
exactly.
So,
well, good. When we come back from the break, we're going to get into some real specific examples and also kind of talk about some legal implications.
It's all about oversight.
That's right. That's right. We're going to talk about some legal implications of crowdfunding. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I am attorney Wade Skalsky, and this is Wade Beyond the Courtroom.
We need to have like an after show, like Oprah has. After she does a regular show, she's got like an after show where
you get a car.
Yeah.
You get a car. I don't know if that's in our. I don't know if that's in our budget right now.
Because during the breaks, all this stuff comes up. We talk about, and usually remember what you said, but sometimes you don't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is recorded though, so we can always go back and make sure that any promises we made were appropriately met.
Yes,
I think you're trying to say. So anyway, if you go to Indiegogo right now, like Indiegogo.com, and you go to most funded on a tab right there, the most funded campaign right now has raised $12 million, which is no joke, and it's for some Ubuntu Edge computer thing, which I don't even know what that means. But the second place one is Flowhive. Honey untapped directly from your beehive. So if you want to have a lot of people want to have their own beehive. But another example, so did you ever see Super Troopers, the movie? Hilarious.
No.
Right? Well, they're funding Super Troopers 2, and so right now they've met their goal to make the movie, but they want to do a really cool chase scene. So they're trying to raise money to be able to do a chase scene on their movie. So if they raise the money, then you get to see a bunch of cars crash and all of that. And I just think it's fascinating. One more example before I get to some more specifics is, so there's a guy by the name of Nathan Fillion and another guy by the name of Alan, and I never can pronounce his last name, but I think it's Tudyk, and they were on a show called Firefly, which everyone loved, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are making a movie together, and so they're like, "Hey, we want to make this movie. It's a comedy, and we want you to produce it." And they've raised $3 million. These two guys.
Wow.
And I'm just like, it's crazy.
And this is common, actually.
Yeah, it's obviously it's getting more common, and I think that's in one ways I think it's fantastic, but like in another way, I think it sort of feeds the idea that every idea that people have, because these are the best examples, right? But there are other examples, like there's one on here from a guy in Sweden who wants us to help produce a solo album, all right? And he looks cool in his fedora and his Indiana Jones outfit, but don't care. Like, I don't know. I don't have a thing for Swedish music. And I think it's the same thing with Facebook. It's the same thing with Twitter, where because now there's actually a platform for everyone, everyone thinks that their idea is a good idea, or what they want to say is actually worth saying, and there's not censorship, but there's no self-censorship anymore.
No.
It's almost like the whole society is inverted. So now we're in this completely politically correct culture where you really can't, you have to kind of stay in between the lines for most things that you say, or the PC police get you.
Right.
But then on the other side, you have this anyone can say anything they want, but you don't hear, it's like this just drowned out, all the ideas are drowned out because there's so much noise.
Yeah.
And those two forces are colliding against each other.
Yeah.
And I find that, I guess, is this where I say get off my lawn?
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Exactly. Get off my cloud.
But it's interesting. So it's great, I guess, and the competition for ideas now is amazing because everyone, whatever you want to do, you can do. Like there's
and the thing is who is the government and everybody else to tell you how you should spend your money? If you want to give your money to the project, then
I got no problem about how if people want to donate to stuff or whatever, and I have. But I'll give you an example. Like people are starting to say they're starting to do crowdfunding for like their kids' college and stuff like that, which is like I think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. But I guess they're just creating a platform for where their friends and relatives can donate for that. But I don't know, man.
But could that get saturated? It's like, another kid wants to go to college.
Hey, I had to take loans out to go to law school, so I'm still messing with those. So I don't know if I would have I don't know if you can crowdfund $180,000 for law school.
I don't know.
Well, what's interesting though is that actually the ABA came out with an opinion that said that crowdfunding can be permissible to start a law firm, which I found that really interesting. So if I wanted to say to start my law firm, if I was starting out, I wanted to crowdfund my law firm, I can do that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that though, because right now, like, look, there's in case you don't know, there's a couple different ways that you get people to give to your campaign, right? So one way is there's donation-based crowdfunding, where you're just like you just give me your money, and you're not going to get anything back for it, okay? So another way of doing crowdfunding is rewards-based crowdfunding, which is like, so the Super Troopers, for example, for the film that they're doing, if you give a certain number of money, then you basically get a signed poster from them, right? Mm-hmm. Or you get to be in the credits if another amount of money.
You get to mow their lawn.
Right, exactly, right? Or whatever they're going to do. And so effectively, you're giving them something that they get to participate in the project.
I think if you're passionate about somebody's project, though, I mean, if you're really into music or filmmaking, because you know filmmakers like I do. You know, I'm not name dropping, but you do, and I know several that have made shorts, and and small films just by like I say Indiegogo or
no, I don't disagree with you. I think some of these things are really, really great, but I think they can kind of get out of hand too, just like anything else. So, so another example in terms of a law firm, though, what they can do though for any type of crowdfunding is equity. So what that means is that we're going to start a company, and you're actually going to get equity in what we do. Now, the ABA says that you can't do that. So you can't. If I'm going to start a law firm, I can't give you equity in my law firm.
Right.
But what I can do is I can give you stuff with regards to like a reward, like maybe you'll be. I think it's funny because they say that what they can do is that they can get informational pamphlets and other issues with regards to. Pamphlets, reports on the firm's progress, or pro bono work for a third-party nonprofit legal organization.
Yeah.
So basically what they're saying is you can tell people that you'll be able to give them, monthly updates on your firm and an informational pamphlet. Or pamphlet. How do you pronounce that word?
Pamphlet.
Pamphlet. I pronounce it.
Is it coupon or coupon?
I say coupon. Coupon. I say coupon. Anyways, no, but so I think it's interesting about how you would do that. But I think at the same time too is who wants I want to donate to a law firm and I'll get monthly informational newsletters. That's what my return on my investment is.
Is it an ethics / conflict of interest kind of issue?
It's a conflict of interest. It can be, but there's not for the donation model. If you want to give away your money, give away your money.
Yeah.
Not for the rewards model, but the equity issues. You can't give away equity of your firm because then you sort of start to get into all sorts of issues with regards to
quid pro quo
business problems and all of that in terms of. You're selling shares in a business, which then you have all sorts of SEC problems that we're going to talk about when we come back from the break, actually, because then people don't think about these things about how, this seems like a great idea, but then you can actually run afoul of federal law.
Back in my day.
Back in your day, right? Yeah. So it is interesting. I mean, look, there's just like anything else, when it first starts, it takes a while to get settled. And then, there's so many people that are doing it and so many different things now that there's so much competition for the donation dollars that people are like, I will find something. You really have to stand out now.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool in the marketplace of ideas. But at the same time, too, is that I don't want to get pummeled on my Facebook feed to try to, to constantly about people for their crowdfunding. Yeah. So, and my social media gets filled with that stuff. And then if you fund one thing, somehow you get on a list where people know that you fund things, and then all of a sudden, boom, everyone's all over you like
that's kind of weird,
like white on rice.
Yeah.
So, Yeah. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about the SEC rules for crowdfunding. I know that's going to be scintillating. And we're going to start when we come back with one of my pet peeves I forgot to talk about. So you're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I am attorney Wade Skalsky, and this is Wade Beyond the Courtroom. Welcome back. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm attorney Wade Skalsky, and this is Wade Beyond the Courtroom. So before we start talking about the SEC rules for crowdfunding, which I know is critical to your success today on Sunday, I have to share with you a pet peeve that I forgot to do in the open. That's fancy radio jargon for the beginning of the show. Am I right on that? Right? I just made that up. So okay. So here's a pet peeve thing I wanted to make sure I got on the air at one point this year, and that's so I went to get my delicious coffee this morning at Pete's Coffee over there at McBean and Magic Mountain. Yes, delicious,
by
delightful.
the party store that opens late.
Exactly. So and so I roll up in there and I go there too much. They know me there. They're very nice. And this pet peeve is applicable to all coffee places though. So it's a little busy because it's Sunday morning and people are there. And and they don't get behind, but it takes time to process the coffee and all of that. And so people are waiting over by the barista, if you will, right?
Barista.
That's a fancy word for saying the person that makes my coffee. I just made that up. And anyway, so my pet peeve of all time, which I hate, is that when the person in front of me, right, orders their coffee, and you can look to your left or to your right, wherever the barista waiting area is, the on-deck circle, if you will, for coffee, and they look over there and they see that there's a bunch of people waiting for their coffee, right, and they walk over, they order their coffee, and they know that there's people in front of them, that they're not going to be the next person to get their coffee. They walk over and they stand right there, like they put their hands on the counter and they're just like, where's my coffee? And like, look, I know it's a legal stimulant. Okay, I know that it's just a step above an illegal street drug and the fact that the craving for coffee that we have, but they stand there and then like if there's 4 or 5 people getting their coffee that will go ahead of them, every person that comes to get their coffee has to go, pardon me, or excuse me, or just reach around them, and they just sit there or my second favorite is when they're on their phone doing that. So
I'm guilty of that, by the way.
You can be on your phone, but you don't go stand right by the ledge, do you? No. So just go, just wander back around the store till they call your name, or just sit back a little bit, and let's not all be like cattle at the feed at the farm, or just like when the food comes.
So there is a coffee house etiquette while you're waiting. Maybe some signage.
I don't know. Listen, I think chivalry is dead, if you will, or polite society. But it just drives stuff like that drives me crazy. And so,
you're over it now?
No, I'm not over it now. Every time I go in the coffee place, I see it, and I try not to get upset about it. And I just shake my head because it doesn't impact me. I don't know. I think it's very
well. It apparently does psychologically. It bothers you.
I'm scarred. I need counseling. Yeah. So that's my pet peeve. So if you ever see me at a coffee place and you really want to get my goat, as they say, which is I think "get me highly annoyed" is a translation. I don't know why I'm translating my own show today. It's so funny. I'm like, every word I say is like, well, this means this. Just in case you didn't know, "get my goat" is apparently growing up in North Dakota in the 70s and the early 80s.
Is that what it is?
Gives you a vernacular that
could be a whole show right there.
I don't know.
Why do we say these things?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Like pop or soda. Anyways, okay.
2 minutes crowdfunding. Final thoughts.
2 minutes. All right. So final thoughts. So it's interesting though, because what you have to understand is that anytime that you sell shares in a business, you can actually run afoul of the SEC, which is the Securities and Exchange Commission. And so the SEC just came out with some rules that an individual cannot contribute more than $100,000 to all crowdfunding ventures over a 12-month period, and there is generally a 1-year freeze on selling securities from crowdfunding. So basically what that means is that, and also they're limiting contributions to no more than 5% of your net worth, or $2,000, whichever is higher, for individuals who either earn less than $100,000 annually or have assets less than $100,000. Now, for one thing, I think they're trying to not get people to do securities offerings. Do you know what I'm saying? So in terms of investing, if you could say, well, I'm just going to invest in crowdfunding, so you start putting large chunks of money into investing for crowdfunding in terms of gaining equity in businesses, then you're effectively doing you could be doing securities trading. And if you want to know if you think the State Bar of California is tough on people for their oversight, you don't know anything with regards to the SEC. Is no joke. Those people do not mess around, right? So So anyway, so crowdfunding, is very interesting in terms of is that I'm going to fund my my friend's project, and it's great in the arts because everyone in the arts is broke. And
I would hope the ones that administrate these sites know this stuff already and kind of pass that on.
I'm sure they do. And
Yeah.
if they don't, they're going to find out quickly when they get a letter from the SEC
Yeah,
that says
that's
or
right.
whatever. But no, and I look, at the end of the day, I know that we're kind of, to kind of sum up my thoughts on crowdfunding and my pet peeve with coffee is that, I think it's excellent. I think anytime, it's sort of like YouTube allows people to basically get their music out there, get their comedy out there without having to go through the powers that be. I think that's great because, back in the day when the studio system, there were like 4 studios and 8 people got to control all of the media. That's fantastic. So access is everywhere now with regards to if you want to have a business, if you want to have some sort of creative endeavor, you have access to almost anything that you want. But
done.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
As he looks at his
Well, I'm like,
no
wait,
watch on. Oh, you
where's
do
my
watch
signal?
it.
Usually, give me
Yeah.
like a rundown. Like you give me like some signal.
I gave you the
I missed it.
the finger pointed down.
When did you do that?
30 seconds, about a minute ago.
All right. Well, anyways, so
Good subject, though.
We're going to crowdfund a
Let's
light.
revisit this.
Yeah, we're going to
I
crowdfund
like
a
it.
light in here. Lets me know how much I have 30 seconds, so that goes off automatically. Anyways, so that was crowdfunding today.
Let's find a project maybe we can get funded.
You and me. Well,
do something,
what
yeah.
about Wade Beyond The Courtroom going national?
All right, so we'll talk about it.
Boom. That just happened. All right, everybody. You've been
Carl's on
listening
the call right now.
to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I am attorney Wade Skalsky, and you have just experienced Wade Beyond the Courtroom.